Needless to say, very, very excited that we were able to, come out with the win tonight, and particularly another close game that comes down to the end. And as much as as positive as it is to make plays down the stretch, free throws, Brandon's big shots, some defensive stops, some offensive rebounds, plays like that plays that hadn't gone our way in the previous game. I think as much as anything it's a conference game. It's a conference game. It's a conference win, fortunately, versus a very good Tulsa team. Coach Conkle and their program, I just, I've said this before, I just have a lot of respect for him. I know him a long time. I think he's a heck of a coach. They got a great program, they're players, and we're fortunate that we're able to win today.
Coach, how good is it to be on the right side of this one, just because y'all have had some tough losses like this recently?
Yeah, no, it's huge, and it is, I think sometimes there's three levels of, as you try and become a winning team or winning program, or that becomes hopefully part of DNA of your team, and there's thinking and hoping and wanting to win, and I would say everybody in the country wants that. Then there's belief, if you can win, and there's kind of like this, man, we really believe we can do it. And then there's the third one, which is knowing you can win, and the knowing part happens when you do it in these kind of games. And we had a few of them last year, and we obviously had a crazy finish earlier this year, but man, that is such a big piece of experience. And Brandon Johnson made a huge shot last year on the road at Tulsa, a huge three in the corner, in the left corner, and today he makes a huge three in the right corner, obviously. And so I think that from belief to hopefully knowing, guys, we can be in these games. This is what every game's going to be. Every conference game is going to be a 10-round fight that's going to come to a decision, so to speak. And we knew that. We approached it like that, and fortunately we were able to win the last round and come out on top.
Coach, when you hear make every possession count like in basketball, probably any other sport, how important is that? Because it seems like every game, like you said, is coming down to the end.
Every possession is a possession game. This is the finest of finest lines in terms of winning basketball games and winning conference games. And this game was no different. And a huge possession was we give up that offensive rebound for them to tie the game when they lay it in. But we got it back with two or three team offensive rebounds when we kept, fighting, and the ball went out of bounds. And finally, Brandon makes that shot in the corner. But it's a possession game, and that's why there is no margin for error for anybody. And we know we're still at the point where we really don't have a margin for error, just in terms of whether it be depth or experience winning. But today we'll go on the side of the good experience that we can draw back to as we are going to be in a lot of close games.
Coach, they're one of the better teams in the country at just getting to the foul line and then even making those foul shots. So how important was that just to deny them that part of their game?
I don't think the other gentleman's in here that asked me about that yesterday, about that exact thing, and said, how are we going to work on that and knowing the fouls? And I said, we work on it every day, and it's obviously a huge emphasis. And to keep them, 7 of 9 from the free throw line, and to keep PJ Haggerty off the free throw line, no free throw attempts, it was a huge thing. But there's no doubt about it that was a real focus for our guys, and he torched us in the first half, and we did a better job in the second half. But he's a dynamic guard. He's as dynamic a guard as there is in this league, and he still went and got 16 points, I think it is 16 points. But to go 0 for 0 from the free throw line, and where he really gets there 10 times a game, was a huge piece, and we worked on it, and it was a big part of this game plan because he is that good, and he changes games with it every time we see him on film.
What do you like about the way the team was just kind of able to execute down the stretch and just be more poised in that spot?
Yeah, the guys know what they're looking for. They didn't. Nobody panicked. I thought that Ezra's turnover late with Bobby cutting to the basket. He probably had a chance to hit him, and he didn't hit him, and then he threw it late, and that was a turnover we didn't need. And then I think we had a shot clock violation. The ball was in RJ's hands, and I think the more you play and have the ball in your hands in those moments, the more comfortable and the more experienced and seasoned you're going to get. But whether it was the out of bounds plays we tried to run late on those possessions, whether it was late game executing defense, it's all about execution in that final minute to 2 minutes. And but again, I say, and we said this many times, big time players make big shots in big moments. And that's what happens late game. The last 4 minutes of game, it's called player time for a reason. That's when players step up and make plays. And tonight, we were on the side of Brandon Johnson making a heck of a shot. We were on the side of Ezra getting 2 or 3 big offensive rebounds and getting fouled late in the game. We happened to be on the right side of R.J. Felton making 2 free throws to make it a 2-possession game. Switching on defense late. Players make plays late in games. They know what they got to do. And tonight we executed, and I think that bodes well for, again, back to knowing we can do it.
Where do you feel like Cam is now? He's played a handful of games and made some big plays down the stretch tonight. Just kind of where would you assess he is right now?
I thought he was huge tonight. Again, we've talked about his defense. I thought he played really good defense again. He had 3 steals. He was tasked with guarding 2 really good players in Kobe Williams and P.J. Haggerty. I mean, those guys they are really, really good, dynamic, strong guards getting downhill. Obviously, Williams torched us from the 3-point line, hitting 5 threes, 5 of their 8. But I thought Cam finally started to look a little more comfortable playing. The numbers ain't necessarily going to show it field goal percentage-wise, but he made some big shots. He got to the rim several times. I would tell you that the shots that Cam missed tonight at the rim, 5 to 8 feet, we see him make those every day in practice. And I have the utmost confidence in him and all our guys, but talking about him specifically, that he will make those shots. When he gets in the paint and he gets downhill and he's got a mid-range game and he's got a floater, and he is really good at that. It just hasn't gone through the hoop in his 4 or 5 games that he's played so far. But those are high percentage shots for him, and he'll continue to work on them. But I thought he definitely, without a doubt, and I think everybody would agree, this was the most comfortable he looked out there. But he impacted the game on defense and with some big timely shots. And here's a huge one. I think he only had one turnover. And that's big because Cam is a really good ball handler and a good passer. And he had some turnovers in the FAU game that he wishes he could get back. So this is a big step up because this team turns teams over as well as anybody in the country. Almost 1 of every 4 possessions, they turn teams over. So for us to have 9, that's a big piece of why we were fortunate enough to win.
Can you talk about the team defense, hustling, diving on the floor? It was great to see today.
Better be who we are all the time, and that's honest truth. That's just what needs to be a staple of who we are. That does not guarantee, it does not predict winning, it doesn't anything, but that's going to be who we are, and the guys understand that, and so I'm proud of them doing that, but that needs to be at the core of who ECU basketball is.
What's kind of the message now? Obviously, 2 more games in conference this week. What's kind of the message heading into Wednesday going to Philly?
We said you get to conference play. I mean, there's a routine that picks up. The message really is we start class tomorrow, so they're back at it there. But the message is play. You get better from this game. Someone asked me, I can't remember, someone asked me about win or lose. I said, whether we win or lose, we're going to find ways to get better. That is the bottom line. We have to. And so we have to find a way to be better from this game, whatever it is, as we get ready to prepare. And I think we're on the road next game, and we travel. And then you come back, and whether you travel again or you're at home, that routine sets in. Get better from the last game, prepare for the next game, and get ready to do it again. And we get fortunate enough to do this for another 2 months.
All right, thanks, Coach.